I'm driving home from school, and I was thinking about some of the topics I hadn't really covered with foster care. And one of those things, sorry guys, like I said, I'm driving, so if I like break up, it's a mess. But anyway, driving home from school and thinking about some of the topics I haven't talked about for foster care. One of those things that actually just presented itself is overnight sleepovers. One of our friends is considering letting her daughter have a sleepover for her birthday, and she invited both of our girls. So yes, you can let your kids have an overnight at someone else's house, and they don't have to be licensed. It's kind of strange, but they don't have to be licensed for the girls to be able to do that, or for the kids to be able to do that. So that kind of answers that question. If any of you guys were thinking like, well, how does that work? Because, you know, whatever. Then the question comes into play, well, like, how do you know if you should or not? And that is like with any other kid. I'm thinking right now that our younger one probably isn't going to be allowed to stay the night. Like, I'm going to take them both to the party, but then I think the younger one's going to end up coming home with me. Just because, one, the older child had some parentification, meaning that like she was acting like the mom before we got her. And two, I don't want the older child to have to feel like she always has to bring her younger sister around, because I know that's something that she doesn't say it, but I can tell like she feels like she has to give her younger sister whatever she wants and that kind of thing. And I just don't want that to be an issue at the sleepover. I don't want our younger child to be irritating our older child. So she's probably going to come home. And now, like, our younger child is friends with this girl. She went to her birthday party last year, but it wasn't a sleepover. And the other thing is their ages. For some reason, I like first grade just seems a little young to me to be allowed to go over and spend the night at someone's house. As we're third grade, I feel like that's probably more appropriate, in my opinion. And so that's probably how I'm gonna explain it to them. It's just like, I don't think that first grade is an old enough age to be spending the night at other people's houses away from home. And maybe that's because I haven't had these kids since birth, so I don't know, you know, or it could just be, it's just how I feel. And I'm going to talk to John about it, but I mean, he's probably going to agree with me that the younger child is just a little too young and may try and like steal the show. So, and I don't want that. I don't want the parents of the child whose birthday it is to have to deal with any fallout from sibling rivalry over like friends and stuff. I don't want her to have to manage that without me there. So that's probably how we're gonna deal with that. And that's just one of like the fun things that kids can do. You can sign them up to play sports. There's this law that passed, and I don't know if it's in every law, but I know in the state of Arizona it's called reasonable and prudent parenting, and that basically allows the foster parent to sign a child up for sports without having to worry about getting in trouble if the child gets hurt while playing, or if something happens at this sleepover. Like, I'm not going to be in like dire trouble from the state, you know, like if she falls and hurts herself or whatever, nobody's going to be in trouble because it was a reasonable thing. Like, it's reasonable that a child should be able to go to a birthday party for another kid and play, and there's a level of risk that comes with that. Which is I know the family that she's the family where she's gonna, you know, be staying, and they're completely safe, and they're great people. So it's not like for me it's a no-brainer. Like, if we were gonna send them somewhere, that would just happen to be the thing. And it just happens to be a bonus that they either were or are licensed through the state of Arizona for foster care. So they know like the requirements and all that stuff that we had to go through, and they've had some of the training, so they kind of know what to expect if anything goes wrong. But with our youngest, she just has some more activity that I'm just not completely confident she's going to be able to handle that. I more worried, honestly, about her trying to steal attention from her sister, though. That's like the bigger reason that and that would happen with any child, any set of sisters. That would be the case. Older, you know, either older or younger. And I've explained to the girls too, like, I've explained to the girls that, you know, if one of them got invited to a sleepover, that doesn't mean that the other one is going to get to go. It just so happens that this little girl knows both of our girls, and so she was able to invite both of them. So, that's kind of that. Put some other fun stuff down. Like I've told you guys, we put our girls on the motorcycle. Anything that is legal, like the law allows, generally you can do with the foster kid as far as like extracurriculars go. Obviously, like legally you're allowed to spank your children, but you're not allowed to spank a foster child. But like playing sports or being in an after school play, or, you know, being on the dance team, or taking them to dance or gymnastics, or having sleepovers, those are all things that you as a foster parent are allowed to do. And some of you may not have realized, like, if your kid, with foster kids, it's this gray area, because when you go into foster care, they don't really go into the specifics about, like, bad behaviors. They don't, and it wasn't explained to us ever. Like, if a child is in your home and they're, like, destroying something, and you're the foster parent, as, like, technically, you're not supposed to put your hands on them. Legally, you can. Legally, you're allowed to stop them from damaging your property or damaging you. But with your license, you're not supposed to put your hands on them. So you think about having that kind of training, and then you think about, well, what happens if they get hurt? What happens if, like, they're doing something? And so that's why these questions come about, because not too long ago, you couldn't sign your foster kid up for football. You couldn't send your kid over to a sleepover, and that was really causing foster children to not be able to live normal as possible childhoods. So that's where we're at right now. But yeah, those are some of the things that you come into with foster care, and that's normal parenting stuff too. Like, what is the right age to send your kids to a sleepover? Comment down below and let me know what you guys think. How old is it? How old is the appropriate age before you send your kid to a sleepover? And, you know, what are the criteria that you guys think are appropriate? Obviously, meeting the parents is like the largest